tell us about your peace framework, because I love frameworks. So tell us about your framework.
Yeah. So, and it did take me a while to evolve this process, but P is that practicing awareness and that I talked about is really the first step. And whether it's movement or breathing or meditation, it's practicing awareness consistently and frequently so that you can pay attention in the moment, which is mindfulness. E is educate. And I bring that from physical therapy. Patient education was always so important. But now what to me is even more important is that the person is educating themselves about themselves. Mm-hmm. What's going on in here? What's going on in here? Where does this, what is everything in your brain, all these thoughts, all these beliefs, where is that coming from deeper down within your spirit?
I love you say that because the whole, you and I have been practicing for a while now, let's say, early 90s. And patient education was always a thing.
Yes.
It was always very important to the practice of physical therapy.
I always thought it was the most important part.
Yes. And it has evolved into pain education.
Yes.
But what I don't like about pain education is the idea that you're going to do this to someone and they're going to get better versus what you just said is engaging them in a journey about learning about their own total pain.
Right.
And when I say total pain, I mean how their mind and body interact.
And the other thing I love about yoga as a wellness practice is that we both know that the episode of physical therapy, of insurance-based physical therapy, is not enough. We need something that will carry them on for, I go back, my pain history is I had stomach aches as a child. And so I have 50 years of pain. That just doesn't go away with 6 weeks of physical therapy. So this practice, I feel like it's just enough. And I was talking about my students today because I have a healthy conversation associated with my class. It's a coaching piece that I do. And we've been talking about communication for the past 4 weeks. And I said, I teach this stuff because I need it too. We were talking about nonviolent communication but you can only work on one little part at a time. Like you can't pay attention to everything. Mm-hmm. So my problem with the pain education is they're trying to give you all of it all at once. Yeah. And it's like, whoa, I can't take all that in. So let's take the pieces and the parts and integrate it, and then take a little bit more and integrate it. It's a process. It's a long process, I think.
I completely agree. The idea that, an insurance company provides on the high end 12 weeks of care for someone with fibromyalgia is trash basically at this point.
Right.
And the fact that we all accept that as professionals and don't use our voices more to advocate is really, the direction of course that I take this podcast in and a lot of my work and even my book, Radical Relief. Like I tried those chapters in there are tiny for a very specific reason and even in the front of my book, I'm like, read one chapter a day and no more. And really, I think one chapter every other day would probably work for most people.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of the same little bits that I try to give on a weekly basis with what I would call my level 1 yoga classes.
Okay, so P for practice, E for educate,
A for assess, and that is self-assessment. I've taken a lot of our PT examination and give them back to clients as self-assessment tools. But also what might be even more important is that assessment of their own core values. And I saw this in the ACT process. Core values are your guiding light. You will better understand your social, emotional, environmental, and physical triggers for your nervous system when you understand what your core values are. And so I think that's when you have appraised your core values, you will know what the next right action is to take based on your core values. So C is change, going back to C is create, going back to creating new habits of movement, new habits of thought, new beliefs, like get rid of some of those old limiting beliefs and try believing something else for a while and see if that helps your pain. E is empower. People need to stop looking outside of themselves for the answers.